Hi, Paula Pearson here. This is a tribute to Mom. We had all over the years with Mom and, of course, Dad as well when he was alive. And we had all kinds of family times together. And I just, at the start, I just put up a few pictures from those times where we had get togethers. And anyway, this is the tribute to my mom that I'm going to be presenting uh, later on in April at her memorial service. And I'll begin to read. Tribute to Mom. Thanks for coming to this memorial service for my mom, Doris Leona Pearson. I'm her son, Paul. My mom had a long life that spanned over many years of incredible changes in the world. From the hardships of the Depression to World War II, the beginning of the nuclear age, the Cold War, space travel, mind numbing technological changes, and the list goes on. Despite all these changes happening, she was a steady and loving mother to my sister and I in our growing up years and even into our adult lives. She had a lot of patience with me in the early years when my great delight was tormenting my baby sister, Susan, who was 9 years younger. I was very insecure and shy, and she continually encouraged me to expand my horizons. A pivotal moment happened in high school when a certain girl named Anita called to our home asking to speak to me. I told my mom, tell her I'm not here. But my mom insisted that I should speak to her personally. And the rest is history. There sits the love of my life right over there. Mom had concerns that our marriage would not work out. However, over the years, mom and dad really grew to recognize what an amazing woman I had married. When dad died at the age of 69, I had opportunity to send an article to the editorial page of the Whig Standard in our hometown of Kingston, titled Our Last Christmas with Dad. It just so happened my mom was visiting with us, and the next morning opened up the newspaper, and to my surprise and hers, saw my tribute to Dad. This was such a touching moment. Also, years later, while we were visiting her here in Truro, she brought out a letter of mine she had been saving, where I had written to her and Dad of my love for Anita and my intention to marry her, and had expressed hope they would grow to love her as I had. Mom was not too much for outwardly expressing her feelings. However, at a celebration of her 90th birthday, we presented her with a special birthday cake that had the family genealogy listed on it. This was one of the few times we ever saw tears well up in her eyes. It was so nice to have the whole family with children, grandchildren, and great grandchildren to witness her emotion and her thankfulness. My sister Susan, being here in Truro, was the main caregiver for mom in these last few years of her life. And Anita and I were privileged to be her caregivers in the last few weeks of her life. We had come from Kingston, Ontario by train and arranged for Susan to pick us up. I directed her to drive us to the store to pick up a 50-inch smart TV I had bought to give to mom. This so we could show pictures and movies that I had taken on my iPhone. Mom was asleep when we got to the house, and I excitedly replaced her 1960s TV with the one I had bought for her. Imagine her surprise when she got up in the morning and exclaimed, where did that come from? Anyway, we had a wonderful time sharing pictures and movies of our family and a little film presentation I had done showing off our apartment that she had never seen. My mom had grown very weak, and it was necessary to assist her in all her movements and needs. She slept many hours of the day and ate very little. Her very last day, she rallied a bit and ate fairly well and felt well enough to play a card game with Susan, Anita, and I, which she won, by the way. Susan and my wife then got her ready for bed while my sister sat with her uh, uh, beside her bed, she could see her beginning to labor in her breathing. Susan called for us to come quickly, and we were able to be with her and to tell her of our love for her as she took those final breaths. I'll always be grateful we had those special moments with her. In a book in the Bible called Ecclesiastes, it speaks that there is a time for everything. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which was planted. A time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to break down, and a time to build up. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. A time to mourn, and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace, and a time to gather stones together, or a time to refrain from embracing. A time to get, and a time to lose. A time to keep, and a time to cast away. A time to rend, and a time to sow. A time to keep silence, and a time to speak. A time to love, and a time to hate. A time of war, and a time of peace. Mom experienced a lot of those things over her lifetime, and near the end, Anita and I were able to say to her, "Are you looking forward to seeing Donnie again?" She said that yes, she was, and hoped so. Then we said to her, "If you believe on Jesus, then you can be sure." She nodded quietly and fell back to a peaceful sleep. What a hope we all have who have trusted in Jesus. Thank you, Mom, for all you have meant to each one of us. Your loving son, Paul. And I'll thanks for listening, and we'll see you again on another topic next time, God willing. Bye for now.